I'm Elegoo and welcome to my creations where I make whatever I want and the algorithm hates it. And today, we are finally going to make something that I've always wanted to make, a custom one-set scale figure from scratch. I tried making it back in 2018 but failed because there were so many limitations back then. There were the skill issues like me not being good enough to sculpt, paint and sew, which is why we had to take a little detour to brush up those skills and painstakingly paint so many small fry toys, and also force myself to learn how to sew a Smiling Creators plushie from scratch in order to gain the necessary knowledge. Then we have the technical limitations, like how do we scale the accessories to fit the body, and are the printers good enough to produce the details that we need. Now, not only do we have a scanner to make sure that the scale is right, we can say goodbye to the rough FDM prints because 16K resolution printers are apparently a thing now, like the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra 16K printer. I'm not going to show you how to remove a printer from a box because that's usually the part that I skip when I'm trying to learn about a new machine. So I'm just going to cut to the chase and show you the results. This is a Shinken blue head sculpt, which is the Japanese counterpart of Power Rangers Samurai, and it was printed with the 16K printer. Raw print, no work done to it yet, and you can see everything is really detailed. The skin pores on the face, the facial features, even the iris details that I sculpted were faithfully replicated with the printer. What's most impressive are the strands of hair which I sculpted digitally, duplicating each clump of hair, moving them to fit the head, and even separating individual strands to mimic the flow of hair. And they were all printed out really nicely, which becomes even more obvious when we spray it with some grey primer to bring out the details. My printer worked right out of the box. I was so excited I didn't even calibrate it and simply printed out our Shinken blue accessories at 1 second exposure time. And they were printed out great. But I forgot to remove the cap from the printer's camera, so we didn't get any time-lapse video. You can film time lapses on this printer. And I did print again, and this time the time-lapse video came out great. Some of the features that I found really interesting in this printer is the auto leveling build plate, which I don't know how it works, but like I said, it worked right out of the box. There's a tilting mechanism for the tank for faster printing, which I have not seen in any other printers. There's also a heater, which I know it's a big deal for some. I didn't use it because my country is ridiculously hot already. It also came with a flip-up case, but if you have space constraints like myself, don't worry because you can simply remove the screw so that you can take the cover out from the front. I also added a line of dust strips to prevent dust from entering and resin fumes from escaping. The prints were nice, but 1 second was overexposing, so their supports were hard to remove and they left nasty marks on the print. It was all my fault. I was lazy because doing test prints is boring and troublesome. Usually you have to print out a test at different exposure timings to find out which one is the best multiple times individually. But now with the Saturn 4 Ultra 16K, you can print them together on the same build plate because it allows you to set different exposure timings for different parts of the plate, making it so easy to find your optimal settings. There is no excuses not to use it. At 1 and 0.9 seconds, you can see that the hole in the middle is fused together, so they are overexposed. Then when you look at 0.8, the holes are present now. For 0.7, the line seems to be a little sharper than the 0.8, so 0.7 should be the better settings. I'm going to try their new SatelLite slicer, and I really like how we can repair the models to make sure that they print out well. You can also use some features that are usually locked as premium on other slicers, like hollowing the models and adding venting holes. Then we can generate supports automatically and slice. Everything in just one software. I was a little paranoid and didn't want to fail the print, so I sliced my next file at 0.8 just to be safe, and they came out equally great. They were easier to remove for sure. As you can see, the newer helmet has smaller potholes than the first one, but yeah, I think I could try 0.7 in the future. Either way, they look great, and if you are interested in the printer, there's a link in the description below. Now that we have everything printed out, let's talk body. I sold this outfit during my break, so I didn't film anything. But if you are interested in how I made it, leave a comment and I might dedicate a video just on that when I make a different color. Basically, it is a body made by Maha and it has narrow shoulders and super versatile body adjustments. With one figure, you have the options of so many height adjustments, either by adding or removing the leg extensions or adjusting the torso height. Why is it important? Look at this. Don't you just hate it when every single ranger looks the same when they are clearly not? Not only that, the 3-0 ranger proportions are also off. Like, since when are Power Rangers so tall and buff? Austin is less than 1.8 meters tall, David Yost is 1.73, which is 5'8", compared to this Negan figure made by the same company. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is 1.88 meters, but his figure turns out to be shorter than the Blue Ranger. Now take a look at this Susu Toys White Thunder figure. The height is believable, the proportion is so spot on, you might even mistake it for a real-life cosplayer if the photo is taken professionally. This is the standard I want to replicate for my own Ranger figures. And that of course includes sanding the accessories smooth to make them look perfect. As mentioned, the supports were hard to remove, so you can see a lot of artifacts that we have to clean up, especially on the inside, because anything sharp is going to pierce through and damage the fabric because they have been scaled just right for the body. I apologize for skimming through all the details at this moment because there's just so many things I want to share. I will probably have to dedicate another video just to focus on the scanning and the modeling aspect of this project. After sanding the protrusion flat, we still have to fill the holes up, and I'm going to use UV clay because it is strong and fast, which is something I wouldn't have known to use because I don't think UV clay was even a thing back then. Even for painting, I'd probably be using a regular brush and went straight ahead to painting instead of what I'm doing now, which is to prime them white so that the colors pop out more vibrantly. Airbrushing is another thing that makes sense to me now, but was so intimidating to learn at the start. Even the sequence of paints used had to be planned out, like getting the golds done first so that I can focus on the other colors. Also, I'm using black spray can instead of the airbrush because black is harder to wash out and might affect the subsequent blue colors when I switch colors in the airbrush. Masking would have been a nightmare as well because one slip of the pen knife and it might ruin the underlying paint, or worse, the print itself. So I would say this is the right time to tackle this particular project, and I'm glad we have the sufficient skills to deal with what's coming next: cleaning up. The rest of the masking was pretty nice, but for the helmet, there is a lot of cleaning up required. We have to add in the details like the blacks, carefully cover up mistakes with the blues, and I have a feeling my hands would be trembling a lot more back then. Even now, I'm still trying new things, like this scratch-resistant coat, because paints for the boots would most likely be scratched off while posing, so I want to try to prevent that. I'm not sure if it's because I didn't let it cure longer, but it didn't really work, so I will have to test it out again next time. Then after some finishing touches like adding red to the pouch and go to the badge, we can finally put things together carefully. Glue on the accessories one at a time, attach the belt, the badge, put on the helmet, and it is done. A Shinken blue figure with fabric suit that I made. Something that I never thought I would see. I did take a little shortcut like using pre-made hands because that's still something I'm figuring out. And the sword is printed but not painted yet. And I didn't paint the head sculpt either because I want to go in and do some tweaking to make the likeness better. So I don't want to rush it for the video. Overall, I think it looks really official, right? I love the proportions. The white band I do feel it's a little too thick, but it's fine. Thank you so much for watching this video and being a part of my journey to achieve my goals, and I hope you will be there for the next one.